Congratulations, you are doing great. Setting up your garden area is a major accomplishment. Now you can almost taste the yummy food that will grow in your garden. The secret to a productive organic food garden is filling your raised bed with living organic soil. Like your body, the soil in your garden is a living thing that needs to be properly nourished to function properly. The soil is where carbon is stored, where all life comes from and returns. It is the living foundation for all life on land and sea. Organic soil is alive with microorganisms, mycorrhizae, worms, and insects. Worms create drainage and airflow, important for healthy plant roots. And red wiggler worms excrete a highly nitrous fertilizer called castings into the soil for a terrific soil amendment. Antidepressant microbes in the soil bacteria produce serotonin, which makes gardening a stress reducer and mood lifter, improving cognitive functions and bringing happiness and healing to gardeners rooting about in the soil. When you look into the activities of those who live to be over 100 years old, you will discover that the majority of them garden. Now, now that you know the size and shape of your raised beds and have assembled them in your prepared and leveled area, it's time to get your soil. Visit your local or organic soil company and ask for 1/3 compost plus microorganisms, 1/3 soil, and 1/3 sand. If you are filling one raised bed, 6 by 2 by 2 or 24 cubic feet, then pick up bags of Dr. Earth organic vegetable potting soil with living microorganisms at your local nursery or hardware store. If you are filling two raised beds, 48 cubic feet, then use a pickup truck and pick up the soil at your local soil company. You can order your organic vegetable potting soil mixed with compost by the cubic yard at the soil company, where 27 cubic feet equals a cubic yard. If you need more than 2 cubic yards of soil, you can have the soil company deliver it to your property. The beauty of raised beds is filling them with the rich organic soil from the garden center or local soil company, even when the dirt in the ground beneath the bed is poor. Now, if you are shopping at the nursery, be careful. I know it's tempting, but wait until you have your garden set up before buying plants. Microorganisms in the soil form intimate relationships with the plant roots to increase their ability to utilize water and nutrients. You need to continually feed and nourish your soil and the living organisms in it with compost, rich in organic matter. The root system is the most important part of the plant, with tiny roots constantly advancing and gathering information about which direction to grow. Fungi connect underground networks with innate intelligence of bacteria, insects, and plants, creating interconnected organisms. They make nutrients available for all the other organisms. More than 90% of plants have a collaborative relationship with mycorrhizae, a fungus that grows on plant roots. The mycorrhizal system has extremely fine filaments, which give it a much greater surface area than the plant's own roots, for absorbing water and nutrients from the surrounding soil, and gives energy to the fungus and the plant while enriching the soil. This is why you want to grow your food organically. Organic gardening produces better tasting food with more nutrition. After you have filled your raised beds with soil, install a T connector for the watering system from the PVC pipe to the drip hose and lay the drip hose on top of the soil across the raised beds. Test your drip hose and deeply water the soil with your garden hose. Adjust the timer over the next couple weeks to discover the right setting for watering your garden. Compost is a slow release fertilizer and an excellent source of organic matter. Compost provides nutrients, moisture, and habitat for a large range of beneficial life forms such as bacteria, fungi, insects, and worms, and helps create rich organic soil. Some cities offer free compost bins that you can order through their sustainability programs, or you can buy a compost bin at your hardware store. You can use the compost bin to constantly improve the structure of your garden soil and grow veggies rich in nutrients. Living organic soil is the womb of nature, where every cubic inch of healthy soil is a miniature world of beneficial living organisms that feed all living things on our planet. You can create compost in a variety of ready-made bins to feed your organic veggie garden and fruit trees. First, fill the bin with a layer of soil. Add a layer of vegetable kitchen scraps, fresh grass clippings, and coffee grinds. Add a layer of brown dry leaves and shredded unmarked cardboard. Then moisten with a little water and let it cook under the lid of the compost bin and allow hungry bacteria to transform it into compost. Use a compost thermometer to make sure the temperature rises to 160 degrees so that the weed seeds and pathogens are destroyed. Continue to add brown and green layers and kitchen scraps. And depending on the bin, the process can take between 6 months to a year to break down into rich, dark earth. Fungi and bacteria in the compost are highly adaptable decomposers, secreting enzymes that convert the raw materials into an energy source which enriches the soil. Soil microbes and purify our groundwater, decompose dead plants, hold the soil in place, and help feed the plants that recycle our air. You become a steward of the land, creating living soil from dead dirt to feed the plants that give you pure organic food. Compost bins come in many sizes and shapes, depending on how much compost you're creating for your garden and your yard. When you create your own rich soil, you can layer this new soil on top of your raised bed. Nature requires 250 years to make 1 inch of topsoil. Now, you can speed up that by composting and putting unused plant materials right back into the soil. On the other hand, chemical fertilizers injure the microbial life that sustains the healthy growth of veggies, lessens the nutrients, and drives up the salt index. In nature, soil is built from the top down as organic material decomposes on the surface and is gradually incorporated into the soil by worms, insects, and animals. Compost improves soil structure, retaining more water and giving roots room to grow. It aids in carbon sequestration and contains natural antibodies that enhance the plant's resistance to pests and diseases. Revitalize the soil in your organic raised bed garden with compost often. With your compost bin, you can save money on fertilizers, recycled debris, and save garden and kitchen waste from landfills. You can also get bags of organic compost at your nursery. Now, the best soil doctors are red wiggler worms. These worms do excellent work underground in our gardens, slithering through the soil and leaving tiny tunnels. These tunnels allow water and air to get to the roots of the plants. As the worms move, they eat fungus, algae, and bacteria in the soil. As they wiggle along, red wiggler worms excrete a highly nitrous fertilizer called castings into the soil for a terrific soil amendment. You can find a red wiggler worm compost bin at your local garden center, or you can make your own worm bin in the backyard by filling a black plastic bin with holes drilled in the bottom. Your worm bin should have air holes in the lid and holes in the bottom through which water can drain into a tray underneath. Place a bedding of coconut coir in the bin and add organic vegetable kitchen scraps, coffee grinds, eggshells, shredded cardboard, and dried leaves. Spray the bedding with water to make it moist. Place the bin in a shady protected spot like against the house foundation or in the garage. Bury kitchen scraps in the top layer every few days and keep the bin moist. Do not feed the worms citrus, tomatoes, meat, or herbs. Worm bins smell like rich soil. About 6 months after starting a new worm bin, you can harvest the compost and place fresh bedding for the earthworms. Check every 3 months to harvest more castings. Red wiggler worm castings create a high quality compost with nutrients and microorganisms for water retention, airflow, and minerals, and make a wonderful fertilizer for the soil and food for the plants. Use it freely to germinate seeds, as a soil conditioner, and as a fertilizer in your raised bed garden and around your fruit trees. Through composting, the goodness from decaying plants can be recycled and turned into rich organic soil for new plants to use to produce delicious fruits and veggies in next year's garden. You can purchase bags of organic worm castings at your nursery or hardware store. Worm castings reinforce the base biology in the soil and are packed with bacteria, enzymes, and minerals essential for plant growth, and they are immediately available to the plant. The humus in the castings extracts toxins and harmful bacteria and fungi from the soil to fight off plant diseases, as well as stimulating the plant growth and the development of microorganisms in the soil. Worm castings allow plants to grow while acting as a barrier in the soil to heavy metals and extreme pH levels. This fertilizer increases the ability of the soil to retain water, reduces the acid forming carbon, and increases nitrogen levels without burning the plants. Worm castings are the highest quality, provide the highest quality nutrients and microorganisms for water retention, airflow, and minerals, enriching the garden soil and growing extra healthy organic fruits and veggies. So add a trowel full of organic compost into the soil around each veggie plant in your garden beds every few weeks. Can you visualize yourself tending your plants in your new raised beds?